Share screen and play. All right. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today, September 30th, 2025. It's October tomorrow. So whenever
That's
you're
it.
watching this. But the great thing about lots of these topics, especially this one too, it doesn't get old, right? It doesn't expire. This is going to be the same things you've been talking about with about sellers, list to sell, know your sellers. This is the same thing 30 years ago. It was good 30 years ago. It'll be good 30 years from now because people are people.
Right.
And that's it. So no matter when you're watching this, it's still fresh.
Yep.
So
Still relevant.
still relevant no matter what. So well, let's jump right into it, Deb. Go ahead.
So when you're talking about listings and so many agents are like, oh, listings are so much easier than buyers are, because you just kind of get the listing up there on the MLS and it sells itself. But in order to get that actual listing, you have to be able to speak to the seller and sell yourself, right? Um,
Yeah.
and by doing these things that are in this meeting today, you'll know what your seller is wanting to do with that property. You'll understand what their mindset is like so that you can help them the best way possible. And that when it gets time to negotiating and stuff, you'll know the different personalities that you're dealing with because we're going to talk about a couple different personalities here. So maybe you can adjust the way that you're speaking to people according to their personality. This happens all the time, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about sellers, but that's what we're talking about today, right? But when we're talking to the public in general, there are a gazillion people out there, and everyone has their own personality, and not everybody messes. They don't all get together on the same wavelength. And this happens not only with us here, but you real estate agents out there, because you just can't, not everybody always agrees with everybody else. So making sure that you can adjust the way that you're speaking to people based on the way they're portraying themselves to you. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Everybody, it's building trust, rapport and trust with people, just not in a business sense, it's just everybody's different,
Yeah,
Everybody has different ways of communicating and everything. So this,
yeah. And you definitely want to show your credibility by showing the market knowledge for their particular area. So hopefully it is a listing in an area that you know well. If you don't, you need to brush up your skills before you meet with them. Go on the MLS, check it out, see what's going on in that neighborhood so that you can speak to them intelligently about what is happening there.
yeah,
Um,
you gotta know more than they do.
yes, yes.
You're not gonna look credible if they tell you what's going on in the market more than you do.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And then when you do get all of that together, use the presentation. Like the last couple agents that I helped with the Moxie Present, and they did their listing presentation, have won these listings. I'm going to pat one of our agents on the shoulder here because she did a fine job. We went through and did newer agent, right? Has not done a listing presentation before, and we went through and did the comparables. She added them to the listing presentation, and the presentation in Moxie Present is already done for you, you guys. So there, you don't have to overthink all of this stuff. Use the stuff that's there. It's a beautiful presentation. They did a really good job of updating it to modern standards so people are getting the things that they want because Century 21 has done the research on you,
Mhm.
right? You don't have to
That's
do it.
right.
They already did it. Use it. Put your comparables in there, and then present yourself by knowing what is happening in that market so that when you're talking to these people, you can win them over. She had a divorce situation, which was going to be tough enough as it was, and
Right.
she knows these people personally. And the actual um, one of the sellers was very hesitant in using her because she did know them very intimately, and they were fighting, right? So she's got to stay the neutral person, and she won the listing because she did everything professional. She stayed in her professional thing, and didn't get mixed up into their personal business, because you got to put your different hats on when you're talking to
Mhm.
people, and that's knowing your seller, right?
Exactly.
When
Yeah.
you're touring the
Oh,
house,
yeah.
you want to make sure that you are taking notes, you're asking questions, and you're offering suggestions too. Um, and I don't mean like, oh, you need to totally renovate this whole house to get the number that you want, because we're not doing that, right? We are not telling
Right.
people to do that. There may be agents out there that do tell them. That's not what you're doing. You're going based off what
Right.
you're seeing, right? We don't want to be spending people's money. So. If they
Right.
do ask you for those things, though, Tony, how do you feel they should handle that part?
Sure. No, if they ask it, renovation, it's just what it is. If are they experienced doing it? Occasionally, we get some sellers that are experienced renovating and they know the cost. I wouldn't. If someone that says, "I have no idea, should I do this or that?" I have no idea what cost it is. And usually, if it's not simple painting, maybe cleaning, maybe if carpet's really bad, things like that. But also, it's just looking at the market too. So. If if it's in an area it's going to sell fast and it's a hot area, having people invest more money to try to get a few, if you're trying to spend $10,000 to get $12,000 back, is it worth the time? It's worth the effort to do all of that. So I always tell our agents to reach out to Debbie or myself and we'll go kind of give you ideas of, on that. So of course, some people just want top dollar, but we also see it backfire, right? We see times where investors are putting things into homes and then putting on the market and takes longer and more money, and we don't want to be the one that suggested to do that. So
Yeah, right.
basically, any house is going to sell no matter what condition it is. It's just what time, how long, and what price, and what the situation is for that. So. Usually, when get that kind of conversation comes up, I already get a feel is this a seller that wants to make every penny, on the house. Like a quick story, just had an agent this weekend. She's like, "Oh, I got the seller, and it's an estate and from her parents, and it's paid for, and it's worth X amount, and they're gonna get all the funds of it." And they're like, "Should I put some more money into it?" I'm like, "I don't, you don't want to be like a financial advisor, but do you really want to put yourself through all that time and effort just to get a few more dollars out of it? You're already it's already paid for house, Sometimes you got to be a little bit of life advice for people for things, but the whole reason why we say watch what you say, because you don't want to be the one that says do this and it backfires on them,
Yeah.
on that. So you could have good intentions, like yeah, having a brand new kitchen and brand new carpet and brand new roof and brand new this and that. Yeah, will the house sell easier and faster? Yes. How much more? Will they make more money on that? But you don't know 100%. So,
That's true. And also just a reminder that I do have the cost versus value schematics if anybody wants them, so that you can show your clients that if you put a kitchen in, a brand new kitchen in the Cleveland, Northeast Ohio area here, this is how much a kitchen's going to be. How much of a return are you going to get back, for instance, and stuff. I do have it available if anybody wants it. All you got to do is ask. If you are one of my agents who has the agent access folder in the Google Drive, you already have it. So you just got to go in and look. Okay.
right.
So, what we're kind of talking about today, along with all of this, is adapting to different personalities. So, the first one is called a director. So they're quick, observable indicators when you do have a director type person. They're extrovert. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak today. They're extroverts. They're task oriented. They're very impatient. They're geared to looking for results and efficiency as soon as possible. Um, they have a short fuse, and they're a higher risk taker. Many of you might already be looking at this going, God, I know people like that, because I definitely know people like that, right? So, and you have to adjust the way that you work with those people in order to get the results that you need. So your best practices on how to present to a director is knowing that they're looking for results. They want you to be direct, but give them alternatives. If you disagree, don't point that out per se, but focus on the facts of kind of why you disagree with, right? And don't dictate to them.
Right.
I can tell you from experience, I have fallen into this category with someone and it did not end well. So you don't want that to happen. You want to think about what they're saying to you and think about the different people. And you can save these things and download these slides and stuff so that you can go over this over and over so you can get used to the different personalities that are out there, right? You want
Right.
to avoid being indecisive and not answering their questions directly or explaining too many details, because this particular person is very focused on I don't want to hear your excuses kind of thing,
Right.
right? So
Right.
um,
And the
give
sample script
opinions
is good.
instead of options, right? And move
Hmm.
quickly so they decide quickly. So an example script for that would be, Miss Seller, your time is valuable. So while I leave the detailed CMA with you, I'll hit the bottom line because that's kind of where they're at, right? That's what they
Hmm.
want to know. Here's what the market is telling us about the likely sale price and range of your property. Is this what you were expecting? And then wait for their response, right? And then you'll know exactly what price range they would like to list at. So you can cut to the chase just by doing something like this. And these sample scripts, you can also find these on 21 Online. That's where I got this one. I did not make this up. It came from them.
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
best yeah, the best part about that I like that is here's what the market is telling us. When you say this is what I think, my opinion, it's not your opinion. You don't come up with the price of a house. A lot of agents goes, well, they want to know what price I would put at what I do. No, it's the market. Was what the market is telling you. What are the houses selling for? You're not in control of what the other comparables are selling for, what the competition is. You're saying what the market is telling us. So I like that way of saying it, not that I think your house is worth. And we result to that. Even the most experienced agents still say that. I like to say the market is telling us, or the current market is telling us this.
yeah,
So if that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. Another personality is the socializer. So they're the quick observant indicators for them is they're extroverted, they're people oriented, they're indirect. Maybe they're disorganized a little bit. They're geared to looking for fun or the experience of things. They're a high socializer, and their emotion is optimism, and they're a high risk taker. So these first two ones are risk takers, right? And then
Hmm.
how to deal with those people is you're going to spare the details and hit the high points, allow time for socializing, then make a quick decisions. Uh-oh, I forgot my
Yep.
thought here. They will make a quick decision. So
Uh-huh.
let them, right? So let them make their quick decision. You want to avoid talking down to them, dictating that the plan dictate a plan that supports their dreams, leaving decisions up in the air, and then just know they might change their mind later. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like what a socializer personality would be like, and it's okay to um, if you can kind of tell if someone says, well, let's go meet at such and such, then you know what kind of person they are, right?
Right.
So a sample script for that person might be, Mr. Seller, what I'd like to do next is to look at some photos of the homes in this price range that we are currently on the market and have recently sold following your CMAs, you guys. These will
Hmm.
help us determine which ones are most like yours, and then we can arrive at the market price for your home together. Okay. So
Nice.
you still need to make sure that you do your due diligence with your comparable market analysis. These CMAs are not supposed to be done in 5 minutes, right? You're
Right.
supposed to take your time and look at the market. So, in the pictures inside and outside, is this truly as comparable as possible? You might find some time right now where I have a lot of people call me and say, can't find any comps for this house. Can you help me?
Hmm.
That is the market that we're in right now.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go out a little bit further in your timeline or in your mileages, and
Mhm.
sometimes you have to
Yep.
just do that, right?
Right.
Uh,
Nope. Come across that a lot. You're like,
yeah, it does. But all you can do is help them as far as that goes. Another personality is a relator. So they're introverts. They're people oriented, they're indirect, they're very possessive, they're geared to looking for stability. The high relator emotion is going to be non-emotional, and they're a low risk taker. So these people don't want to take risks. Okay. So how do you present to that person? You're going to take it slow and easy. You're going to provide proof and statistics. Present your case logically, softly, and non-threateningly. Show your track record or that of your company if you don't have one. Give them
Right.
time to think about what you're saying. Provide personal assurances and guarantees. Be prepared to make additional visits to reassure them. So you're going to have to reassure this person over and over. They're always going to question, right?
Right.
Avoid hard selling, getting too friendly on the first meeting, being loud or emotional, and being shallow with answers to questions or not having the answers. Now, for you new people that say, but I don't know the answers, you're going to fall back on your, I will get right back to you as soon as I reach out to my manager. She's only a text message away. Okay. So, or he is only a text message away. So you got me, Tony, Brenda, everybody, Julia, you're only a text message away, you guys. Don't be worried, okay?
Hmm.
Ms. Seller, others have found it helpful to review the data together, which I will leave with you. And then we can look at the price range and market as indicated. Does that sound okay? So you're giving them the choice to review this stuff and then talk to you later. Don't make it too long of a wait though, because someone else might come in there
That's
and
true.
swoop them up. What do you think
Right.
about that?
Got to stay connected.
Yeah. The next one is the analyzer. So they're also introverts. They're task oriented. They're direct. Um, the overextension for them is going to be critical. They're geared to procedures and information. Uh, Emotion of a high risk analyzer is fear, and they're also low risk takers. So as we're going through this, I'm sure that all of you are going through your mind going, gosh, I can put people in each one of these categories, and there's nothing wrong with that. Paying attention to the people that you know is going to help you be able to talk to them, right?
Right.
So best practices on how to present to an analyzer is be organized and well prepared, know the data inside and out, present specifics, provide them with the information and the time they need to make the decision. If you disagree, prove it with data and facts. Don't just say it. Um, Things to avoid, you want to be not be too casual or informal or personal, forcing them to make a quick decision to deliver and promise anything you may not be able to fulfill. I also missed a word there too. I apologize, you guys.
That's all right.
Um, Sometimes when I have these all saved out and then I put them on the slides and I'm organizing the slides and I miss a few things. So
Right.
I
Now,
apologize
when I
for that.
type, I always miss words. I misspell, because in your head you see it.
Yeah,
So,
I did. Well, exactly. Yeah, when I was proofreaded, I knew exactly what that was supposed to say, right? So your sample script for an analyzer would be, Mr. Seller, let's carefully review the data I've compiled to determine the market price for the property. You mentioned you researched the market as well, so all those people that go on Zillow, right? Is
hmm.
this in alignment with your findings? So this is the one thing that you guys will probably fall into a lot is people looking up stuff on Zillow and thinking that's the gospel. So you just have to show exactly what we see in the MLS as far as the market goes.
Right.
So
Yep.
I hope that you guys can take some of this and try and figure out different ways to speak to people so that it gets you the results that you want with your clients and stuff too. It can happen. We are the ones that have to be the chameleon, so to speak, so that we know who we're talking to and how you're going to approach that person at that point. You know,
Right. A
sometimes
lot
it
of
doesn't work out because sometimes there's just personality conflicts. I see that a lot too. And it may not be anything that you did or said. It might be just that that person does not compute with the way that you were speaking or what have you, or things like that. So
exactly, and even and some of our agents or even newer agents, it's all life. We have some new agents that just get their license, but they're later in life and had a career that they're retiring from or whatever, and had experience, customer service and handling, people, and kind of this is something that's hard to without living it. So you don't know it. So a lot of times you might be in jobs or maybe this is your first major career and you just haven't had a lot of experience dealing with people or in business sense of things. So a lot of times I get agents that are like, well, I've know lots of friends and I have lots of relatives and I know a lot of people, but you kind of, when it's just a social kind of thing, you gravitate to people like you.
Yeah.
So you don't realize there's this whole other personalities out there and how they view things and how they communicate because you've connected with on a personal note with the people that are more like you, if that makes sense. So,
Yep.
all right. And what do
Yep.
we got here, Deb?
So instead of doing a pop by or a social media thing, giving you guys a little tidbit on did you know? So did you know that the city of Cleveland now has a point of sale inspector that's required for 1 to 3 family vacant units? It's the vacant building registration that I've got noticed here, right here. And I gave you the little paragraph that they had there about how much the registration fee is, what is it for, and such. Go to that website that I have. I thought I put it in white, but it
No,
looks like
I
it's
could
in
see it pretty
blue.
good.
Uh,
Vacant. Basically, it's vacant and oh, where's the
yeah,
web?
vacant inspection at clevelandohio.gov. Tons of information on there. So that you guys can look this up if anybody's doing anything, because now the city of Cleveland is not only doing the lead safe program, but they're also doing this. So anyone who has a vacant building in the city of Cleveland does have to register it. And I'm not talking about like a vacant building for 2 days because you're in the middle of a
Right.
transfer. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about
Actually,
homes that have been sitting for a while,
right.
or your plan on having sitting for a while, because they don't want those anymore, right? They want people to take care of their stuff.
They
So
do.
this is your public service announcement.
That's right. And we got some CE coming up in 2 days.
Yeah, next week we have Hush. Wait, what is today?
Nope, two
Today is
days.
the 30th.
Yep.
Thursday, we have
Thursday.
Hush. In 2 days.
Right,
Scary
yeah.
home repairs that lead to delays that can lead to lawsuits. October 15th, Mike is doing core ethics. Hess is coming back on the 6th with major appraisal changes coming in 2026. That should be a good one.
Hmm.
Um, and then December 4th is going to be real estate safety. So we do have a few of those classes for the rest of the year. If you need to have other continuing ed, you need to check with your board, or you got to buy them online. So if you are on homestaroffice.com and you click on the education tab, it's going to give you links to those places where you can buy your classes online.
You got it. All right. That was the last one. Stop. Share.
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for watching us today, whenever today is for you.
Yeah.
And reach out to Deb or myself. Remember, you can get on our calendars, talk the number two Tony.net or talk the number two Deb.net. Get on our calendars if you want. But of course, if it's an emergency, reach out to us ASAP. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us and hope to talk to many of you soon. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.